From the combined resources of News Channel 3 and CBS Local 2 News, you're watching Your Vote 2014 election coverage. Brought to you by Mathis Brothers and The General.
Let's go out now to Riverside. Natalie Brunell is there. She is at the county election headquarters tonight reporting with our live pad. And Natalie, right now, vote by mail ballots are ranging about 18%. That's just 2% ahead of where we were in the primary. Does not seem like voter turnout is very high so far.
No, and we were kind of expecting that. I spoke to the registrar of voters earlier who said that she only expected about 43% of registered voters to come out for this election. And I actually stepped outside of the registrar. I wanted to show you that there is a U-Haul truck behind me that is carrying in ballots by the masses here from the polling places where people did come out and vote. Now you can see coming inside, these boxes of ballots are coming in, bringing those in so that they can be processed. And as we walk here, I mean, this place has been buzzing all night ever since the polling booths closed, and you can see there's a lot of employees here. It's just been really interesting to learn exactly how much goes into counting these ballots. Now, as you mentioned, the numbers released. There have been about 150,000 ballots that arrived here by yesterday in the mail. Those have been counted. And as for the rest of the night, ballots will continue to roll in from 546 polling places around the country. So we will, of course, remain here and continue to bring you the latest numbers as we get them. Reporting live in Riverside, Natalie Brunell, back to you.
Thanks, Natalie. I'd be curious to find out just where those ballots that are rolling in off those trucks are coming from, and then we can find out how close we are to knowing when those Coachella Valley votes are going to be in. You are watching Your Vote 2014 on CBS Local 2 and News Channel 3.
Right now, we have a quick look at your forecast. More great weather for us coming up this week. Maybe just a little bit warm for November, but not bad at all. And by the way, you can get your complete weather on our websites tonight at KESQ.com and CBSLocal2.com. Just click on the weather tab. Meanwhile, we are going to remain focused on the air on Your Vote 2014. Keep it right here. You're watching News Channel 3 and CBS Local 2 combined coverage of Your Vote 2014.
Let's get to the proposition now. California voters let their voices be heard at the ballot box on 6 propositions. We'll start with Proposition 1. It was a $7+ billion water bond. $500,000 of that, nearly $500 million, could be allocated toward the Salton Sea. And right now it is winning with 68% of the vote. That's probably one that's going to continue to pass. Proposition 2, should the state constitution be amended to change how the state pays down debt and saves money in reserves? Again, voters chose that one overwhelmingly, 70% of voters.
Yeah, people like the idea of a rainy day fund, apparently. Proposition 45, should changes in some health insurance rates require the insurance commissioner's approval before going into effect? Right now, it is losing. You can see the noes have it with 60% of the vote. Also trailing tonight, Proposition 46. Increasing the cap on damages and medical negligence lawsuits to over $1 million. So both of those props involving health care and insurance losing tonight.
Proposition 47 would save $150 million by treating some low-level crimes as misdemeanors. Let's see how the voters chose on this one. 58% of voters agreed that that should happen, that some non-violent crimes should be decriminalized, defelonized. This would be a first in the United States if California voters continue to vote for it, and it looks like it will pass.
And then theoretically, the savings from that would go into education in the state of California. There are more races along with continued live coverage yet to come. You're watching Your Vote 2014 on News Channel 3 and CBS Local 2. Remember, updates on both of our websites as well, KESQ.com and CBSLocal2.com. Local Measure KK now in the Desert Sands Unified School District have approved the $225 million bond measure. Would upgrade classrooms, labs, and technology, repair schools, and equip new classrooms. It would continue or lower tax rates already approved by voters with Measure K. There's a 55% supermajority needed for this one. These are early vote totals in the Desert Sands Unified School District right now, but it is out in front with 70% of the vote. More races to look at tonight. In Indio, 4 candidates running for 3 seats on the council. The incumbents are Elaine Holmes, Sam Torres, and Michael Wilson, who's currently serving as mayor. The newcomer is Troy Strange, born and raised in Indio. And if these results hold up, again, these are early vote totals. You see there, 8 or 9% of the precincts reporting. Right now, Sam Torres, the incumbent, would be the odd man out, but we'll continue to watch this throughout the night. You can get the results, by the way, of their hotel tax in Indio on our websites, ksq.com, cbslocal2.com.
The city of Coachella will have a new mayor, and that new mayor is a current councilman, Steven Hernandez. He will take over for Eduardo Garcia, who's running for a seat in the state assembly. Moving on to Coachella City Council right now, there are 6 candidates running for 2 open seats, and it looks like right now the top 2 vote getters are former Assemblyman Manuel Perez with 43% of the vote and Betty Sanchez with 30% of the vote. Voters in Coachella also casting ballot on a 1% sales tax. This is charged to non-city residents to pay for police, fire, streets, and parks. Again, that race among the many that we are covering online on CBSLocal2.com and KESQ.com.
And more to come, including another look at the 28th State Senate District, also the 36th Congressional District. You're watching Combined Resources coverage of Your Vote 2014 on News Channel 3 and CBS Local 2.
A final look now at the 36th Congressional District race. Let's take a look at the numbers right now, where we have incumbent Congressman Raul Ruiz leading Brian Nestandi, his Republican challenger, by about 8 percentage points. Our own Chris Long is live at Republican headquarters tonight in La Quinta. Chris, not a whole lot of folks behind you out there right now.
You think, Brooke? Don Meredith used to sing on Monday Night Football, "Turn out the lights, the party's over," and that's the situation here at Brian Nestandi headquarters in La Quinta. The candidate himself still not conceding in this race against incumbent Dr. Raul Ruiz, but you can see it in his eyes. I interviewed him live here just a few moments ago. He probably realizes that he's not going to make up an 8 or even 9 percentage point deficit that he's had really throughout the night. Brian Nestandi left this building just about 5 minutes ago, said he was going back to his home in Palm Desert, where he would watch the rest of the results coming in. And who knows, stranger things have happened, but I think he knows that this effort is in vain. He is a good man. I think that's the consensus here tonight. He did his best. I talked to some people behind the scenes. They seem to feel, and actually have some polling that indicates, Dr. Ruiz found about 20% of the Republican vote early on in this campaign, specifically through mailers, and he never lost that 20% of the Republican vote. That plus the Democratic vote, probably enough to put him over the top. It's always tough to defeat an incumbent, even one who's only been in Washington for one Congress, 2 years, and he hadn't even finished those 2 years yet. And Brian Nestandi apparently found that out tonight. Not conceding, still watching the numbers coming in, but probably realizing this is not his night to win. Will he run again? I get the sense that this may be it in political life for Brian Nestandi, but we'll have to wait and see. He perhaps will go back into his life as a consultant. After all, he has a lot of mouths to feed with a wife and 7 children. But tonight, apparently not Brian Nestandi's night in the 36th District congressional race. Brooke?
All right, thanks. Yes, overcoming an 8-point division between himself and Raul Ruiz right now as those numbers continue to come in.
Okay, Chris talking about mouths to feed. That may be the biggest news of the night. We're finding out that Congressman Ruiz and his wife now expecting twins. News Channel 3's Karen Devine has been covering the Ruiz camp, both about the election, the politics, and also the growing family, too. Karen.
That's right. Thank you, John and Brooke. There is a growing family happening here. Why don't we start with that? Can you tell me what that all means? What does that entail?
You know, people know that I married Monica in March, and today we announced to our family, friends, and strongest supporters that we're expecting twins in April. Can you believe that? We're absolutely happy, and it's so amazing. It's a blessing from God, and we praise God every day for the gifts that God's given us.
What a fantastic year, 2 years you've actually had, and tonight possibly good news moving on for 2 more years in the Congress?
Well, you know, it's a strong start. The night's still young. We have a lot to wait for. A lot of ballots have not been counted, but we're cautiously optimistic, and we're happy with the strong start that we have.
What would you like to say to all the people that came out tonight? I have to say you had a lot of supporters here. It was quite a party.
You know, it was quite a party, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you to all the supporters. Thank you to everybody that went out and voted. And like I said in my speech, that if you voted for my opponent, thank you so much. I want you to know that my doors are open to you. I represent you too. I want to listen. I want to hear from you. I represent you too, and I want to come to a growing understanding of your views as well. And so I represent everybody in the district, and that's the most important thing that I want to share with everybody today.
And you did say some nice things about Mr. Brian Nestandi when you were on stage.
Yes, absolutely. You know, I thank the Assemblymember Brian Nestandi for running the type of campaign that he did and for his service, and we definitely have things in common. We do have common ground. We have a strong priority with our families, and we both believe that in America everything is possible.
And no doubt you're going to face some challenges with a lot of Republicans there in the Senate and the majority. What do you say to that?
You know, I say the same thing that many people said. What could a freshman in the minority get accomplished? And we've been able to get a lot accomplished in 2 years because we've been able to put people above partisanship and solutions above ideology. We focus on improving the lives of the people we represent, including Republicans, Democrats, Independents, and everyone else. And that's what we focus on, and we're going to continue to focus on that.
Well, good luck. If